So Chris and I are now going to show you how to use Quick Fix number 2 to increase the squaring capability of your golf swing. Just remember that the whole focus we have is on your ability to actually square the club face to the ball at impact repeatedly. And in this case, our focus is on your swing itself. We're hoping now to show you that you are going to be able to throw your way to consistent play from some throw that you already know or have experienced in your life. And so Chris is going to show you just 3 ways using, first of all, cornhole, throwing a cornhole bag, a simple underhand throw and release with his hand of the bag to the target, and another throw here, which is another wind up and throw and release of the ball. And you notice as Chris is doing this, all he's doing is swinging his hand and arms. His body is totally in support of the swing. It doesn't do anything. Everything is basically automatic in this particular swing that you already know. And now we want to show you how you begin to transfer that particular swing to your golf swing. And the simplest way for you to do this is to use the 3 golf balls that we put in your packet to get started with. And we're going to show you a couple little simple drills you can use to do just that. Now, we would have asked you to throw some balls straight out to a target so you can get a use of that underhand throw you already know. But now we're going to get you to throw to a new target, and the target is very close to you, only a couple feet away. It's between your feet. It's the ball in play. That now is your primary target. That's where you're going to put all your focus going forward with this swing. So Chris is going to use these in just a short kind of chip, and then a pitch, and then a full swing throw, where you're learning to wind up and throw that ball down to the ball in play, the one that's between your feet. And it's a very simple movement. You can see that he just wound up. He didn't think about turning his shoulders, his hips, or do anything different with his feet or anything else. It was just simply winding up and throwing at this target that is the ball in play with that trailing hand. So now Chris and I want to show you how the Square Launcher Accelerator device actually helps you learn how to do an underhand throw swing. And the first thing we want to show you is how you place this device on your club. You'll see it's round in shape of a golf ball, and essentially you were just throwing some golf balls down to a target. We're now going to show you how you're going to be able to throw this device in your trailing hand and the club head down to the target. You can see an indicator line on this device, and we'll show you in a minute how it tells you whether you've rotated your hands in appropriately or kept them square, as you've kept the club head square to the target. And you can see the line on there which tells you where to put your thumb, and your index and your middle finger fit around this ball just like they would on a golf ball or any other ball you were going to throw. And now you place it near the hosel of your club, or where the club head is, and you gradually pull that up to the top of the grip, and you now have got the device on the grip. And we want to let you know that there is no need to squeeze this device hard so that it fits or holds on the grip, because you're going to be actually sliding this device up and down off the grip and down the shaft. And it also teaches you to hold that trailing hand and those fingers on a level that's kind of 4 to 5 on a 10-point scale, just like you want to hold the rest of your grip and your hands on the club itself. So now you know how to put the device on any club that you own. But what we're going to show you is the multi-function features of this Square Launcher Accelerator, which is really designed to eliminate many of the consistency robbers in golfers' swings. As we told you in the past, in all of our clinics and all of our workshops and watching on driving ranges, we've seen 4 major issues that cause problems for golfers. And number 1 is tension in their hands, that causes tension in their arms and their body, making it very difficult for them to feel where the club head is in the swing whatsoever. And so part of the idea was to design something the size of the square launcher accelerator, which was big enough that it would help relax your hands and increase your chance for feel. Another way to increase feel though was to do what we're now calling the split hand throw technique. So building on your effort to kind of mimic an underhand throw you already know, you're going to learn how to use this device to help you with your swing, with your underhand throw swing. And as Chris is showing you right now, the first thing you'll be doing is you'll be hinging your trailing hand to initiate every swing that you make. And that, in fact, helps set you in a vertical pattern. And if Chris can hold that just for a second, you can see that it also sets your lead wrist as a wrist hinge. And what it begins to do is allows you to feel the device pulling your lead hand, arm, and body to the top of the swing in an underhand throw. You're just winding up, but you're using the device to pull that whole side up. And when it comes down and your hands come back together, then all of your hands and wrists release together at the ball at the same time. And as you're doing this swing, as Chris will show you on some other clubs now, you are actually building a particular tempo for this swing. And that tempo is simply 1 back and 2 through, 1 back and 2 down and through. And you're going to be using this on every swing. And this tempo helps set a rhythm, what keeps your body in sequence. This is one of the biggest consistency robbers that we see when people start throwing their body instead of having their body support their hands and arms in a swing. And now you're going to learn how by this simple split hand throw technique, you're actually going to be able to square the club head to the ball repeatedly, because this will be your practice swing, which will then be followed by your real swing where both your hands are actually together during that swing. So that's what the practice swing would look like. Now your hands are together, and that's your full swing. And it works on all the clubs you use. So Chris and I are now going to show you a drill you can use to help you mimic that underhand throw you already know using the split hand throw technique that we just mentioned to you. And remember, as you're using this drill, you're eliminating at least 4 of the major consistency robbers: tension, feel, tempo, and rhythm in your swing every time you use this split hand throw approach. So Chris is going to show you how we suggest starting this by just hitting a basic little chip, so you can just see by a basic short swing how you just gently hinge your trailing hand to start this swing, and everything else follows. And then he'll go to what would be a pitch shot, and in all cases you are using that trailing hand to wind up into an underhand throw for your backswing, and then throwing both hands down and the device down directly onto the ball in play. And now he'll show you a full swing shot. And each one of these are ways to build your underhand throw. You can see that this technique helps you keep your head down. It keeps your body stable, so you don't have a lot of body motion. And as we said before, it keeps everything in sync. So all body parts are moving in conjunction and in support of the hand and arm throw that you're doing, which is the only swing now that you have. You have no other swing thoughts to worry about. So just to add to this drill, as you become more proficient at hitting those foam balls, then we suggest you might want to try hitting some real balls off this tee, particularly if you have a little bit space to do so. And the other thing we're going to suggest is when you do this, if you can, tee up these balls, because remember, your object is to really hit the face of that club on the ball completely. You're not trying to hit the ground, you're trying to hit the ball itself. So Chris is now hitting some real balls with a simple little short little pitch shot, and now here's one right off the grass. But if you're able to do this using the split hand drill, then you'll know for sure you're squaring that club face to the ball at impact, and you're keeping your head down and you're keeping your body from moving. Your body is staying stable in the swing. So it's just another way to test out your capability to use this swing. So all the work we've done at Square Launcher Golf has been designed to give you visuals and aids and simple techniques that allow you to consistently square the club face to the ball at impact. And now we want to show you, based on our experience of people, particularly using the split hand throw technique, that there's some problems that people have run into, and this is a way you become your own self-coach. It is our real desire that you be able to coach yourself. And so we're going to show you some of the mistakes that are made and the easy corrections that come from just repeating the correct split hand throw. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the grip itself. So when you grip this device, remember you're putting your thumb on the triangle and you're putting your index and middle finger around the ball, just like you were going to throw a ball, because that's what you were practicing. Those are the other sports that you use. So that's number one. The other thing is, don't press down on this. This is to be as loose as possible. Remember, we want your total grip, both left and right hand, to be tension free, to be like 4 or 5 on a 10-point scale. So don't squeeze down on this. You want to be able to slide this. The other thing is, people sometimes put this device on incorrectly, upside down. It actually won't make a difference in terms of how it performs, except you won't be able to see the indicator line. And the indicator line is an important one, which Chris will show you now, is the one that helps determine whether you've maintained your hands in a position where they've kept the club head in the takeaway and in the backswing square to the swing path. So if that indicator line disappears, you've rotated your hands like so many of us done for tens of thousands of years actually playing golf. And what we want you to do is to just hinge that trailing hand and always be able to see that indicator line as you go all the way to the top of your swing. You'll be able to see that even at the top of your swing. If you look back, you'll be able to see it. It will not have disappeared. You will not be getting that club behind your back, which makes it very difficult for you to swing. The other thing is, people, when they initiate this swing, you really want to hinge your hands right at the beginning of the swing. You want to hinge that trailing hand. It remember, provides direction for everything you're doing, and you are just pulling that club head and your lead hand and arm and the lead side of your body back into the top of the swing in an underhand throw position, so you can throw it underhand back to the ball in play. So the other thing that we see when people push this device down the grip, if they don't hinge right away, they push it down and they extend out. This is not the proper way to do it. You need to hinge your hands completely. And one suggestion we have, and we found from certain people, we're not suggesting you have to change your grip, but an easy way to do this is just use a 10-finger grip when you're using this particular drill. It gives you additional feel for whether you're hinging that hand and whether you're feeling the club, and feel yourself pulling that lead side and your lead body back into the top of the backswing. And so that's another suggestion we have. You can practice and use it that way, but otherwise you can just use your own grip and just slide that trailing hand off as you get into the backswing. So the other big thing that we see with this is when people do not look down and see the ball when they come in to the impact area. And most of the time it's because they do things like pushing their trailing foot out toward the target, and it causes them to extend. They come across their body. They can hit the swing where they're turning their shoulders over, and they're never going to be able to square the club head to the ball accurately. So remember, it's just a simple, relaxed, underhand throw of that trailing hand, and you need to be able to see yourself throw that device toward the ball. You're just throwing the device, which means you're throwing the club head down to the ball. Our only connection with the golf club is the hands, and that's why the Square Launcher Accelerator was created, to make sure that you correctly use your hands in this particular type of underhand throw swing. So the final thing we want to mention to you is the whole concept of the accelerator itself. So we know, and all the research would show, the only way you're going to get increased distance is by both swing speed and ball speed. And ball speed comes from squaring the club head to the ball at impact, and swing speed comes from your ability to move that shaft and that club head faster to the ball. Well, when you do the split hand throw technique, you are training yourself to increasingly speed up your throw, and do that with everything moving in sync and everything square to the target. So that's the reason why it was named the Square Launcher Accelerator, because it's a way that you can actually learn how to throw the club and the shaft faster, which is going to get you increased distance. And because now everything is in sync and you've got your hands and the device moving directly to the ball, you're going to get more center-faced hits. So you're going to get both distance and accuracy at the same time.